Hey everyone, welcome back to Real Patriot Patty. I'm your host Patty, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about the most recent propagandist lie of the woke left media creating a spin on President Donald Trump's Bloodbath comment. Now, this comment was referring to the automotive industry that is going to be disrupted with China wanting to produce cars in Mexico, taking 34% of the automotive workforce from United States to have that made now in Mexico, which is going to be cheaper for the manufacturing companies of the automotive vehicles. This is going to reduce the automotive workers within the United States. The media, of course, made a spin from that, saying that President Donald Trump was referring to bloodbath as to a civil war. If he does not win the election, this is what's going to happen in the United States of America. We know that the woke left media companies and major corporations such as CNN, MSNBC, ABC News, The Guardian, The Washington Post, New York Times, we all know that they create a spin and a narrative on everything that is being said, and they lie. But now, as it is getting so much closer to the elections, was taken to a whole new level. These propagandist companies lie so much that if people do not educate themselves on what was actually said, they believe it. This, of course, is the whole purpose of them pushing this propaganda and spreading the false narrative, such as by throwing words as democracy, bloodbath. They throw out keywords to brainwash people and manipulate them with fake media that they are producing themselves, hoping that people will not go to the real source. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what President Trump said. Furthermore, in his speech at the Ohio rally, President Trump said that he wouldn't call them people. The people who he was referring to is MS-13 gang. It is one of the most violent gangs that rape women and children, slaughter people in the streets, are comprised of very violent gang members that are for sex trafficking and drug trafficking. This is who he was referring to. You think that as a normal person, or would you rather refer to them as a criminal? That is what any normal person would refer them as. Not a normal person. Normal people don't do that. So that, again, is what he was referring to. But of course, you have these headlines that take everything out of context on purpose, hoping that people will not find the source and actually look at the information themselves. This is what tends to happen among Democrats and liberals. They just believe headlines. They don't actually research any of the information. And I have heard some stories of people who used to be Democrat and believed everything that the Democrats said, until they were then proven wrong by the Republicans, showing them the evidence and proving that this is actually not what happened. This is exactly what happened in this past Ohio rally on March 16th, 2024, this past Saturday. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what President Donald Trump said during his speech and why people understanding how this propagandist left woke media pushes and spins his narrative is crucial ahead of the election season. Of course, the reason why all of this is happening is because it is getting so close to the election, is because they are desperate. For the last 3.5 years, Democrats and the woke left media has been suppressing all true information and lying about everything. We have millions of illegal immigrants coming across our border. Inflation is out of control. Children's education levels have dropped to the highest of the lows possible. We do not have freedom of speech. We are pushing transgender woke ideologies on children. We're indoctrinating children, and so much more. In his speech, President Trump was referring to the automotive industry taking 34% of its manufacturing now to Mexico and then importing it right back to United States just across the border. So they do not have to pay automotive workers here within the United States. It's going to be cheaper labor in Mexico for manufacturing. So ultimately, the company makes more money. This is all, of course, supported by China. And in his speech at the rally, President Trump said he's going to impose a 100% tariff on China if they will want to manufacture vehicles and automotive mobiles in Mexico and then have them transported across the border to the United States. Furthermore, he wants to tariff all Chinese imports because, as we have seen, of course, in the recent years and decades, everything is manufactured in China for cheap labor, for cheap materials, and for cheap costs for corporations. People do not understand how imports and exports work. They do not understand the companies that are manufacturing their goods and the price they are paying for the quality they are receiving. In today's world, we have everything of very high price with very high quality. And this continues getting worse with propaganda being pushed from companies of recycled goods, recycled plastic, recycled polyester, wear recycled clothing, manufacture everything in China for Amazon, and shipping. The left pushes the climate change scam, despite the fact that they are the ones that are actually causing it. Further add to President Trump's bloodbath comment, I wanted to share with you the fact that all of these media companies, such as MSNBC, ABC, CNN, Washington Post, The Guardian, and many more, including Fox News, have made headlines with lies, spitting the truth, and pushing that away so people do not understand what is the context of the conversation, which is always important to understand. Now, they themselves have used the same words of the word bloodbath in their conversations multiple times on all of each of their platforms within conversations they were having between each other. With the guest speakers they had on, they had used the exact same word. So how come they have used it before, no problem, and now because President Trump said a word that exists in the dictionary, now they are coming after him, that he's promoting blood and violence and starting a bloodbath within the United States. Some have taken it to the context of where if President Trump doesn't win, it's going to be a bloodbath. And truth be told, if President Trump doesn't win, I do not know what's going to happen, because all I know is that people for the last 3.5 years, I fed up with the lives that have been living under Joe Biden and his administration, and the fact that we cannot live like this for the next 4 years. Our country is going downhill, and soon it's going to be unsavable, even in the small part. Now, the woke left media supports all of this because they're getting paid to manipulate people and brainwash them. And if people that tend to be liberal and Democrats do not ever do further research on the topics that they are being told the news with, of course, with the reason and purpose, they do not know the truth. The truth is the truth. We all know that everyone shifts their narrative, says certain words and keywords to further push their own opinions as it is the truth. But there is a difference between a truth and a lie, and propaganda that is used to push it. In this case, this is exactly what is happening as it has happened to President Trump before. For example, with Russia. The whole Russia hoax for years went on about President Trump and Russia, and it all ended up being fake. And this is exactly what happens with the woke left media. They will create a scenario and a situation they will talk about over and over and over and over again. And when they are proven wrong, they just don't say anything about it anymore. They were talking about Russia for a couple years, all the time. And when it was proven there was a hoax, it was a lie, they just stopped talking about it. Nobody ever went back to the subject and said that we were wrong, we lied to you. Of course not. They just move on and forget about it because they know that the people who watch these types of news stations will not care about the truth, and they won't come back to actually learn what happened. This is the same now, where they are just pushing keywords onto people, moving day by day, pushing propaganda. Later, they will not come back to it, and later people will forget. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about giving you actual information. They are all being paid and are all bought off to manipulate you, indoctrinate you, and push propaganda. So they fill you in with keywords. They fill you in with making every situation dramatic and outrageous. But my biggest question to them is, where have you been for the last 3.5 years when we have the biggest crises we've ever faced as a country? We have a person, Joe Biden, not a commander-in-chief, who is supposed to be the president of the country, who cannot lead a country. We have a vice president, Kamala Harris, who is supposed to be in charge of the border, who is going to abortion clinics instead of the border. We have transgender flags waving in schools and American flags being taken down. Our education system is dropping. We're handing everything for free to everyone except our own citizens. We are funding wars around the world. Think about this. We have the war in Russia and Ukraine for so long now. It is the job of a president to make peace among the world. Why hasn't he done that? Think about this. He hasn't done it because he's money laundering. This is another propaganda. Oh, Ukraine. Meanwhile, people are getting Rolls Royces and houses on the beach who are supposed to be in charge of the country. Of course, the media will not tell you that. The reason why I'm making this video today is for people to truly wake up to the brainwashing and manipulation these media companies use to confuse you, to lie to you, and never tell you the truth. I am not promoting any companies because I'm not affiliated with them, but the ones that I recommend personally for true news is Newsmax and One America News. If you do not want to use actual TV stations, I totally get it. Ultimate true place for getting news now is Twitter. Thanks to Elon Musk for buying out Twitter, known as X, we now have access to actual truth with proof, with evidence, with data, with facts, not opinions and not spin-offs, actual truth. This is so important for people to understand because now we have the election coming up in a few months. And you better believe it, that the things they're going to be coming up with, claims and lies and spin-off and taking things out of context is going to increase drastically. It is important for everyone to understand that these companies did not have your best interest in heart of having actual journalists, actual people reporting facts. These companies haven't done that for decades. This is all a made-up lie. Nothing ever is the truth. It is a spin-off on anything that they can push you to brainwash you and manipulate you. People need to do their own research. People actually need to read bills and articles and find videos and find evidence and data for what these people are saying. And it does require you to use your brain, which is what they don't want. They want you to rely on them for all the news. Don't think, don't use your brain. Just depend on us. You don't need that. We'll provide you the information. That is not the case. I hope people will understand how important this is, that this woke left media and all media is brainwashing you and manipulating you and controlling you and indoctrinating you of what they want you to know and never telling you the truth. They're creating spin-offs, lies, propaganda, their own stories, and are using emotions to be able to push these feelings and emotions out of you while suppressing the truth. As I said before, this is definitely not the first, not the last time this is going to happen. It's going to be more frequent now because they are getting desperate. They've been pushing lies for 3.5 years that there's no border crisis, there's no sex books in children's education, that there's no homeless people, there's no illegals. All of this is a lie, and they continue lying and pushing propaganda. Every move they make is now a desperate move, yet it's calculated because they know that their audience is not going to actually look for the truth. They're not going to research it because they have so much hate in their heart for President Donald Trump because of the media that they don't care to know the truth. You tell them something, they'll run with it. They will repeat words without understanding their meaning or the context. And this is what liberals and Democrats are all known for. They repeat keywords such as threat to democracy, bloodbath, without even knowing what that means. The truth is that a threat to democracy is this administration because we do not have freedom of speech. Information is being censored and suppressed from people so they do not know the truth. And Hitler, by the way, again, Democrats do not know history, so they will not know that this happened. But Hitler used to own all the media too, and he pushed his own propaganda. This is exactly what is happening now. All of these massive corporations that are controlling the world, they are controlling what you see, what you watch, what you read, what you listen to, are the ones that are pushing these propaganda slides. So it is super important for people to wake up and do their own research and find the truth. It does require effort. It does require work. They don't want you to do that. They want you to believe their lies. But we all need to live the best lives that we can for ourselves and expecting things from ourselves to be the best we can be. And that requires education, finding out more information, and finding the truth. Not believing woke left propagandist lies that are never about the truth. President Trump has been attacked in the media for years now with propaganda and with lies. Of course, when we're talking about Joe Biden, they will never talk about what he is doing or isn't doing because they don't care. I truly urge everyone to not believe the propaganda. Do not believe the lies. Do not believe what you read on the internet. Do your own research and find the truth because the truth will set you free. As always, thank you so much for watching. May God bless you and may God bless America. I'll see you in my next episode.